In this digital age, napaka-rare na lang makakita ng mga videos na mayroong film look. Film look meaning shot on film or something like this, and this, and this. Since digital age na nga, most of the cameras nowadays give us that sharp and saturated look. And there's nothing wrong with that. But lumaki ako loving motion pictures that were shot on film. Nakakamiss yung ganong look. Kumbaga, I don't know about you, pero ako, minsan mas na-appreciate ko yung mga may imperfections sa image quality. Now, you might be wondering, is there a way to somehow emulate the filmic look at i-apply ito sa mga digital footages natin? My answer is yes, there is a way. Now, in this video, we are going to be talking about how I did that. Pero bago ang lahat, let's roll the intro para mong pro! Hey, what's up guys? Ryanaudencial and maraming salamat po sa pagbabalik nyo dito sa channel ko. And as I've said, in this video, we are going to make our films look more filmic with the help of a plugin for DaVinci Resolve. And this plugin is called Dehancer Pro 5. Now, before we jump right in, I just want to give you a disclaimer. Yes, Dehancer gave me the Dehancer Pro 5 just to test, but they didn't pay me to create this review video, so all of my thoughts and opinions about this plugin will be honest and true. And now, natapos na tayo sa disclaimer, pag-usapan naman natin kung ano nga ba ang Dehancer Pro 5. The Dehancer Pro 5 is a film emulation plugin for DaVinci Resolve, Lightroom, and Photoshop. Yes, pwede rin siyang gamitin sa photos, but since filmmaking channel tayo, I will be focusing on the video side, okay? So, DaVinci Resolve lang tayo for this video. The Dehancer Pro 5 acts as the magic dust or magic sprinkles sa inyong mga videos and photos. Meaning, ito yung gagamitin mong plugin para sa finishing touches ng inyong mga videos and photos. And yes, you will apply this right after you color grade your clips. It emulates film stock, film grain, bloom, halation, and other effects to give us that filmic look even if we are using our digital cameras. So yes, ito yung isang paraan para gawing mukhang shot on film ang inyong mga videos. Now, sa video na to, hindi ko ituturo sa inyo masyado kung paano ko ginawa yan inside DaVinci Resolve because I know that marami ng tutorials dito sa YouTube kung paano yan ginawa inside DaVinci Resolve. I will just be showing you the results ng bawat effect na available sa Dehancer Pro 5. Okay? Now, let's talk about the film stocks. Film stocks are the preset film emulations. Ito yung mga uri ng film na ginamit na sa mga motion pictures and even sa mga stills. Film, as in yung film, no? Yung film na film. Kumbaga pag in-enable mo itong film stock effect na ito, magmumukhang kinunan sa corresponding film na pinili mo yung video mo. Here are some examples. These are raw clips from my España short film. These were shot on my Sony a7 III, which is a digital camera. Now let me apply some of the film stocks that are available sa ating Dehancer Pro 5. See, it gave these clips that filmic character. It feels like it was shot on film. Nagkaroon sila ng dating kumbaga and it somehow minimized that digital look sa mga clips na yan. And ang maganda dito sa Dehancer Pro 5, once you enabled the film stock, you can control the intensity of the effect. Ako usually, I go for that subtle effect at hindi masyadong halata. So I normally use the film stock effect na hindi intense yung levels. The Dehancer Pro 5 has 62 film stocks by the way, so di ka mabibitin sa mga choices. After the film stock effect, let's go to the next effect, which is the film grain effect. Nowadays, most digital cameras give us that sharp and flawless image quality. And as I've said earlier, there's nothing wrong with that. Pero minsan, hindi mo na alam kung sharpened na ba masyado yung mga kulay and edges sa images. Parang picture sa ibang high-end na cellphones nowadays na parang may beautification effects na nakalagay. Ang solution ko dati sa ganong dilema ko, no, pag yung mga clips ko is feeling ko sobrang sharp, is maglagay ako ng imperfections on top of the footage. Naglalagay ako ng film grain overlay. Just a video clip with film grains na naka-alpha channel. Sana nagets nyo. But most of the time, it introduces unwanted noises sa clips. Bakit? kasi naglagay ka ng additional footage sa ibabaw ng clips mo. At dahil doon, nadidegrade yung image quality mismo. So, good thing the Dehancer Pro 5 has the film grain effect. For me, this feels more organic. Dahil compared to the film grain overlay method, my old method, this effect from Dehancer Pro is not artificial looking. Here's a side-by-side comparison. As we can see, yung film grain ng Dehancer Pro 5 ay parang grains na galing mismo sa clip. Hindi yung nag-generate lang ng random grain patterns. These grains recreate the image, kumbaga. For me, the Dehancer Pro 5's film grains recreate the image compared to the alpha-channeled film grain overlay na wala namang pinagbasehang image to recreate the grain. And yes, you can also adjust the intensity or the size of the grains as much as you like inside the plugin, so you have full control. Here are some examples using the film grain effect. Here are some examples using the film stock combined with the film grain effect. Diba? Mas nagkaroon ng filmic feel dahil nilagyan natin ng konting imperfections yung clip. Now, let me just stop for a second, okay? I know some of you are thinking bakit natin kailangang i-degrade yung image quality ng mga clips natin with this plugin. Bakit kami bibili at gagamit ng mga mamahaling camera for that sharp image quality then dudumihan lang sa post? My answer to that is, kaya natin ginagawa ito ay para bigyan ng filmic feel yung ating mga videos. Now, if you are not into this kind of look, hindi ko kayo pinipilit gawin ito. You can still go with what your camera can give you when it comes to the image quality. I totally respect that, and I know hindi naman lahat ng videos nyo ay babagayan ng look na ito. I'm just letting you know that it's possible to make some of your videos feel filmic. Yun lang naman. And so we are done with the film grain effect. Let's go on with the next effect that the Dehancer Pro 5 has, the bloom effect. If you are familiar with the Black Pro Mist filter or yung mga dreamy mist filters na ginagamit natin sa mga lente natin, I'm sure maiintindihan nyo kung ano yung bloom effect. Bloom effect is the same effect na binibigay ng mga mist filters sa mga lenses natin. Now, kung di ka familiar sa mga mist filters na yan, i-explain ko kung ano yung bloom effect na yan. The bloom effect gives us that dreamy look. It blooms the highlights. Binibigyan ito ng softness yung mga edges ng highlights or yung mga bagay na maliliwanag sa clips mo, like the lights and the whites. This effect also simulates mist or yung haze effect. Yung parang gumamit ka ng haze machine sa eksena para mas ma-highlight yung light rays sa footage mo. Here are some examples using just the bloom effect. Here are some examples using the film stock, film grain, and bloom effect. Let's go to the next effect that the Dehancer Pro 5 has, the Inhalation effect. Ano nga ba ang Inhalation? Ang Inhalation ay isa sa mga imperfections ng film or literal na film. Usually, hindi natin sila napapansin masyado. Pero ang itsura ng Inhalation is yung parang red sa mga sharp edges sa clips natin. Kung alam nyo yung RGB split effect, parang ito yun pero hindi red, green, and blue, kundi red lang. Ako personally, hindi ako fan nitong effect na to, but whenever I enable this effect, it adds up to the imperfection ng film look, which is somehow helpful if ang goal natin is to achieve that certain film look. Kumbaga, binibigyan niya ng red glow yung mga sharp edges. Parang nagkaroon ng nen or aura or chakra yung mga subjects. Parang binigyan ka ng byakugan. Byakugan? Byakugan ba yun? Oh, alam ko byakugan. Yung mata ni Neji. Oh, yun. And as I've said, hindi ako masyadong fan nito, so I rarely use this effect. Or sometimes, ginagamit ko siya nang hindi ganun ka-intense. Now that we are done with the 4 main effects, let me show you some of the other effects na meron sa Dehancer Pro 5. And let's start out with the film breath. Film breath. As the name suggests, ito yung paghinga ng film. Meaning, from time to time, nagbabago yung film effects na nilagay mo. Minsan nag-i-intensify, minsan nawawala. Kumbaga, parang humihinga siya. Now, to better understand this effect, here are some examples. It gives the video inconsistencies sa exposure and kulay. The Dehancer Pro 5 also has the Vignette effect. The Vignette effect is one of the overused effects sa ating mga videos. Sa mga hindi nakakaalam ng effect na to, this effect gives us that dark edges around the video. This effect beautifies everything that is in the center of your frame. Itong effect na to ay mas binibigyan ng highlight yung mga nasa gitna ng composition mo. Next is the gate weave effect. The gate weave effect gives us that little wiggle. Because dati, yung mga projectors ng mga films ay medyo may gatol or may alog, thus giving us that wiggle sa ating mga clips. This gives us the feeling of watching on a vintage film projector. Now, let's try and put the effects all together. And as we can see, ngayon, mula sa mga digital-looking clips na na-produce ng ating digital camera with the Dehancer Pro 5 film effects, nagkaroon na ng vintage vibe or retro feel yung ating mga clips, thus giving us that classic-looking videos. Now, one thing to take note though, if you're going to use Dehancer Pro, make sure na hindi ganun ka-intense yung paggamit mo kasi maliban sa over-processed na yung itsura, it will also eat most of your computer's RAM or slow down your editing process. DaVinci Resolve pa lang kumakain na ng napakaraming RAM yan. Paano pa kaya pag naglagay ka na ng intense Dehancer Pro effects, diba? So mabuti ng subtle lang yung paggamit mo nito just to give us that feeling of we are looking at clips that were shot on film. And another thing, pagagandahin lang ng Dehancer Pro 5 yung aesthetics ng video mo, ha? Hindi nito pagagandahin ang shot compositions, color grade, at ang storya ng film mo, okay? Now, gaya nga ng sabi ko kanina, this film look ay hindi para sa lahat. So, if hindi mo trip ito, okay lang. And I know, hindi rin naman dapat ito gamitin all the time. May mga babagayan lang talaga mga videos. It's just nice to know na posibleng maging luma or filmic yung ating mga footages na kinunan gamit ang ating mga digital cameras. So, if you're a fan of this look and you want to create something similar sa mga favorite videos or movies mo na shot on film, the Dehancer Pro 5 is your solution to that. Now that has been my review of the Dehancer Pro 5 plugin for DaVinci Resolve. If you want to know more about this product, make sure you check out the links below. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and click that bell as well. Once again, this has been ryanaudencial. Thank you so much for being here, and see you in the next video.